Good morning นะครับ everyone. How are you today ครับ Are you good? So in this one นะครับ you can see that if our currency exchange in 2021 is 10% different from or increasing from currency exchange in 2020 นะครับ so if the data นะครับ if the data is in the same worksheetนะครับ like this one in G1 like this and then we just multiply it by 1.1 there's no problem but what if our revenue is located in the cell in the worksheet revenue 2020 here like in the cell I1 like this what should we do in this oneนะครับ the way that we have to do is that we have to use the referencing นะครับ okay so in the cell K1 here if you would like to multiply the exchange rate นะครับ in revenue 2020 worksheet by 1.1 นะครับ the things that we do is like this ครับ firstly นะครับ we just put equal sign first นะครับ next when we know where the location of the referencing cell is you just go to click on it นะครับ you don't type นะครับ just click so in here we know that the original cell is located in revenue 2020 นะครับ you click on that cell ครับ have a look on the formula bar ครับ in the formula bar here you can see that it shows as equals and then single quote นะครับ revenue 2020 นะครับ close the quote exclamation mark and by followed by cell I1 นะครับ this is the referencing นะครับ this is the referencing and then you just follow by multiply by 100 and sorry I choose 1.1 instead in here นะครับ so that means it's 10% increasing from the cell I1 in the worksheet revenue 2020 so in here you get 35.805 นะครับ as the currency exchange of 2021 นะครับ so it's the same as นะครับ you get the same value as when you have this cell นะครับ G1 multiplied by 1.1 you get the same value ครับ but this one just sometimes when you would like to refer to the cell that is located in other sheet นะครับ we do like this ครับ so don't forget นะครับ let me just like have a short sorry a review for this calculation once again firstly you start by equal sign นะครับ after that you go to the location นะครับ where the original cell is located in this one it's located in another sheet revenue 2020 นะครับ in the cell I1 ครับ after that you just multiply by or doing the calculation wherever whatever you want in here I want to multiply by 1.1 something like this นะครับ and then you press enter then you get the calculation นะครับ result immediately นะครับ so why I recommend you to choose by clicking นะครับ instead of typing นะครับ the cell location by yourself the reason is because it's possible that if you type นะครับ and then if you type it wrongly for example instead of typing revenue space 2020 if you just type revenue 2020 without the space what will happen นะครับ now let me just show you suppose you just manually type it นะครับ type the calculation นะครับ for this cell by yourself นะครับ this cell location by yourself it will be like this ครับ equals to single quote revenue 2020 close the quote exclamation mark and then if we say that, okay, we want to refer to the cell E1, okay, let's seeนะครับ, what happened is once you press enter, it shows the pop-up box. What does it mean? The reason is because in here, Excel doesn't or cannot find the revenue 2020 worksheet in your file. The worksheet name, the correct one is revenue space 2020. But now you are typing revenue 2020 without space, so that's why Excel cannot find this worksheet for you. That's why I try to open up a dialog box to ask you that where is this file located? The file called revenue 2020. Actually, we don't have it. It's just a name of the worksheet only. So that's why when you have to use the reference across the worksheet, you better just click instead. And what is the next thing that I want you to know? Sometimes when you calculate something, or when you use some functions, you may find some errors. When you see the errors, you have to analyze what is that error about? What does it mean? Before you solve the problem. Because if you don't just understand the error, you may not be able to fix that problem correctly. Now let me just explain to you. In this example, let's see these the error that happened first. The error that happened here is shown as #ref exclamation mark here. When you see ref in here means reference, okay, then I'm sure that everyone can guess. But reference error here, what does it mean? It means that there is an error about the reference that you are using in that cell. So let's have a look. In this one, when you double click, you see that, okay, you have just, okay, let me just suppose I just multiply by 20, something like this. Okay, and it's the error in here. So you can see when you double click, see the error part, it's #ref. You can see that in this formula, only the reference is this part. Okay, let me just clear out first, just this part. So it means that there must be an error about this part of your calculation. Then you just go to fix it. So there must be something wrong in this one. That is the reference part. That's why it shows as error ref. Sometimes the error might be #value, something like that. It means that the value that you enter is wrong or invalid, something like that, and then you just fix it. We'll see those errors later. Now just see an example of the error that is ref first. Before I move on to the next part, okay, do you have any questions about this referencing across the worksheet? So if you don't have any question, let's finish this part. We will just calculate the revenue 2021 in Thai baht. So in this one, let me just have the wrapping of the text a bit. So in here, I just multiply the revenue in US dollars by the currency exchange that we just refer, and then I just lock the cell. Okay. So don't forget, if you have many hatches in the cell, that means your column is too narrow. You have to widen the column. Okay, this one. Okay, right. In here, if you want to decrease the number of decimal points, we just right-click, choose Format Cells, and then just go to Number, change the number of decimal points to be whatever you want to have. In here, I want just 2 decimal points only. Or you may just like click on that cell first, go to Home tab, and then go to go to number group, and then you just choose decrease decimal, something like this. It will be like set up according to what you have. And the display, just a little bit that you have to know. Right now it shows 35.81 35.81. It seems to be that it rounds the value for you, but actually this is not real rounding. It is just display as 35.81, but the original value is still 35.805 anyway. It doesn't touch and change any value for you. It just like change the display only. So that means sometimes if you really want to have the data to be rounding, you have to use the round function, not just like use the display to show the decimal point fewer than what you saw before. Okay, so after we have this one, just a little bit thing that you have to know. On the last class, on the last class, there were a couple of students asked me that, okay, the calculation was wrong, Ajahn, what should we do? Somebody enter the thing like this. This one, it looks similar, but it's different. You can see that the value 35.81 in our real calculation is here. It's only the value 35.81 in cell K1, right? But in the new one that I created, 35.81, it is not in the cell K2. How do we know? If you want to know, you just click on the cell K2 and see in the formula bar. You can see that in formula bar there is nothing. What's going on? Actually, we enter currency exchange rate, currency exchange in 2021, 35.81 THB/1 US dollars in the same cell. That is not correct. Suppose you try to calculate the revenue in Thai baht like this. You multiply revenue in US by K2, because you thought that it would be 35.81. It shows 0. This one you have to be careful. Split numbers from text when you want that number for calculation. This is wrong. This one is wrong. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. So when we have this one already, now I will move on to the next thing that we have to know. We will learn about the functions in Microsoft Excel. We will learn about the functions in Microsoft Excel that we have to use. The knowledge in the function in Microsoft Excel that you have to know is like this. Okay. We will learn the function. Okay, I call them as basic function first. We will learn about sum, min, max, and average. These are 4 basic functions that you have to know. This is basically every Excel users have to know how to use this function, because they are just like the basic function that I'll teach you to understand how we're going to use function in Microsoft Excel. In Microsoft Excel, whenever you have the function, it's similar to the basic calculation. You always have to start with the equal sign, right? So for the function, the way that we have to do is that after equal sign, you have to enter the function name, followed by parentheses. Inside the function name, inside the parentheses after the function name, we will need to have the value that we call it as argument, argument. argument is the value นะครับ that we use inside the function นะครับ we call them as arguments. Different function may have different argument นะครับ different number of arguments. Okay. So in here นะครับ some of the handbook นะครับ for Microsoft Excel นะครับ or website they may have like this. You see square bracket like this นะครับ so whenever you see square bracket นะครับ in any computer related functions นะครับ the square bracket is what we call optional นะครับ optional means that you may have or you may not have. It depends on that functions and also it depends on you as well. Wow, the argument without the square bracket นะครับ this is compulsory นะครับ this is compulsory or what we call required นะครับ so for example this function needs one argument นะครับ while other arguments นะครับ they will be the optional ones นะครับ and then you close the parenthesis. Okay, so now let's talk about some function first. For some function, the way that we have to formulate the function is like this ครับ we have equals to sum followed by the argument in here will be value นะครับ value 1 value 2 comma dot dot dot. Whenever you see the dot 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 นะครับ inside the function's arguments นะครับ this means you may have more values นะครับ that it specify in this parenthesis นะครับ for example if you want to sum many of the cells together นะครับ more than just 2 cells you just specify the other cells location or you may specify the value that you want to sum as well นะครับ okay now let's begin with the easy นะครับ the basic sum example the sum function example นะครับ suppose you want to sum 3 with 4 นะครับ if you want to sum 3 with 4 basically you just put equals to sum นะครับ once you type equals sum you can see that on the lower part of this cell it shows all possible sum functions for us. We have so many sum if, sum if s, sum product, sum sq and so on นะครับ for other sums we will learn we'll talk about it next on when we reach that part นะครับ now we just talk about the basic sum first. When we have sum, suppose we want to sum value 3 and 5 together นะครับ we open parenthesis enter 3 comma 5. This one, it means that we want to sum value 3 and 5 together. The expected output should be 8. When you press enter, it shows 8 for us. And when we want to see the original formula, we just click on this cell, and then see in the formula bar, it's sum 3, 5. Okay. Next, the next example. The next example is that if you have the value นะครับ that are located in the cells นะครับ in other cell. For example, if you have value 3 and 5 นะครับ 7 and 8. Okay. Suppose we have these values ครับ 3, 5, 7 and 8. And we want to sum these 4 values together นะครับ the way that we do with the sum is that we just type equals to sum and then we click on the cell นะครับ this is C22 comma D22 comma E22 and comma F22. You can see that right now we are summing 4 cells together นะครับ we are summing 4 cells together. And then when we just like close the parenthesis นะครับ just a little bit before I press enter นะครับ you can see that every time when I choose different cells นะครับ that cell is surrounded by the border in different colors นะครับ for example when I choose C22 it shows the cell C22 with blue border and then the text C22 will be in the same matching color with the border as well นะครับ so that this one it will be easy for us to distinguish which cell we are using in your referencing นะครับ in this one so this one you have นะครับ C22 D22 E22 and F22 you sum them up together นะครับ okay now you get 23 นะครับ as a summing result นะครับ in here so you put equals to sum open parenthesis and then followed by the reference that you are having นะครับ or the reference that you want to sum them together so when we have this already นะครับ when we have this already okay. The next thing that we have to do นะครับ the next thing that we have to do is that I want you to try summing this revenue นะครับ you just I just want you to try summing these values นะครับ okay so what are we going to do in here นะครับ okay I'll show you how to insert the new row or insert the new column whenever you want to do it นะครับ okay so in here you can see that because I just like type my problem text นะครับ underneath the table here it's to stick together too close to each other then I want to insert the blank rows นะครับ after my table what should we do in order to insert the blank rows นะครับ or blank columns we do like this ครับ we just go to the location where we would like to insert the blank rows นะครับ for example in here I want to insert 3 blank rows นะครับ sorry 5 blank rows over นะครับ find the revenue row here นะครับ what should I do firstly I go to highlight 5 row first okay from row 15 นะครับ to row 19 this one I want 5 rows after that I choose right click and then insert this one it will insert the 5 empty rows for me นะครับ okay let me do it again firstly I say that I want to insert the 5 blank rows นะครับ below December นะครับ the month of December I highlight 5 rows that I want to insert and then I right click choose insert นะครับ you may do like this or somebody does like this ครับ they insert 1 row at a time ครับ so below December month นะครับ row 15 here you highlight and then right click choose insert นะครับ one at a time and when you are okay with it then you stop นะครับ okay when you would like to insert the column you do the same thing นะครับ we just like for example in here if you want to insert column between column F and G นะครับ you go to column G นะครับ highlight it and then right click choose insert another empty column will be inserted in between column F and column G you can also insert many columns at a time as well by highlighting number of columns you want to insert for example you would like to insert 5 columns behind column F then you highlight 5 columns after that you choose insert นะครับ then it will insert the 5 empty column for you นะครับ behind column F นะครับ so this is the way that we use in order to insert the empty row or empty column นะครับ okay now ครับ I want you to do this one by yourself นะครับ I want you to find the total revenue นะครับ right now we are in revenue 2021 worksheet นะครับ we are in 2021 worksheet I want you to find the total revenue in US dollars and Thai baht นะครับ on both 20 and 21 นะครับ so in this one if you remember in column C and column D there are revenue in 2020 นะครับ right let me just use wrap text. Okay so that means just find the total value นะครับ of these 4 cells to me please. Okay. Just a little more นะครับ before I just let you do it. You can see that there are some cells นะครับ that there are some rows or some columns that we may not want to see it right now but you don't want to delete it นะครับ in Excel you may hide those columns or you may hide those rows as well นะครับ so the way to do is that you just go to the rows or columns that you don't want to see it right now นะครับ for example from the previous problem text here I don't want to see it ครับ then I will hide it to hide it you highlight those rows or those columns นะครับ after that we right click and choose hide. This one you can see that problem text were hidden already นะครับ let me do it again. You go to the rows that you don't want to see it now, highlight them and choose right click hide นะครับ this is the hidden rows. These are hidden rows. How do you know that? Are there any rows or columns that are hidden? That's so easy. You just have a look นะครับ on the row number or column number. For example, in here, you can see that from row 19, it jumps to row 25. นะครับ it jumps to row 25 straight away. That means there must be some hidden rows. And also you see the small horizontal line, small 2 horizontal line. That means there's something hidden here. To unhide them, you highlight the row before and the row after the hidden rows นะครับ like this. Then you right click and choose unhide นะครับ all the hidden rows will be displayed. Let me hide it again. I highlight the rows in between. Sorry, the rows in on the top and below the hidden rows. Right click and then choose unhide นะครับ so this is the way to hide and unhide the unwanted row right now. For the column is as well. For example, if I say that column E I don't want to see it now ครับ I choose column E, right click, choose hide นะครับ the column E is hidden and then you can see that there is a 2 vertical lines in here นะครับ okay right okay นะครับ so right now I want you to find the total นะครับ I want you to find the total of let me hide the unwanted row first so that you see the problem text as well. I want you to find the total revenue นะครับ in US dollars on both 2020 and 2021 นะครับ okay I give you 3 minutes ครับ for Kanin นะครับ I send you my file that I have got นะครับ in chat box.
Okay. Is it like direct or I don't see the link?
Kanin Wong Kunlakiat นะครับ okay I send to everyone. It should be good because it seems like somebody who just like come here may not have the file. Okay. Now let me just I have to close my file first, otherwise I cannot send. All right. For finding the revenue in US dollars and in Thai baht on both years, it's easy นะครับ so basically we just put equals to sum, right, and open the parenthesis. Then the way that we have to do is that we just put equal sign นะครับ and then enter sum. Open up parenthesis and put each referencing cell like this.